The 70-minute game that SMG played against Talon, where Chidori was constantly sundering his mid-1 Earth.
It has to have a purpose, and it also dissuades junk.
Well, for now, it's war for both Blacklist and SMG, but SMG are going to be able to pick up first blood. Goes towards Masaros. I think mid-1 was trying to take that with the boulder smash, but I think they're going to be happy it's really good for Space Cow.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to be threatening on him, although you could threaten on that Sky.
Yes, they can. A very easy kill there. Did Bosco even have that ultimate? They're going to gamble on this bottom room. Mid-1 will roll on in. Rune is going to spawn top to DD, but the kill onto Apu is very fast. Mid-1 as well might just end up dropping here. Rolling Thunder ought to seal the deal. A clap out from Bosco as Mid-1 doing a good job of staying, out of position of the roll, but he's still going to be killed by that swashbuckle. Magnetize does a bit of work now as it's going to collect the kill onto, at the very least, Bosco. Ooh, but a nice repositioning from Carl. Sees him on the high ground with the wand charges. He is going to live. The maiden auto attack's not nearly enough. Raven as well joining this fight. That's a really early rotation for him. He ran here.
Breaker yet. I'm surprised Raven didn't keep that chase, although they will find Tims here on SMG's end. The levels for these supports are very important. You kind of want that soulbind up. You want the Enchantress to be as durable as possible with a value point and untouchable, or just more heals coming out, more harassment coming out with the impetus as well.
Rune does spawn bottom. It's an illusion rune picked up by Bosco. Another Rolling Thunder here, though, with the Ink Swell. Stun is going to miss John well. They still actually have the kill as well onto Tims as Mid-1 looking for the roll. So far, support for support, as it looks like another support make that it's yet to fall. Raven TP into this mid lane fight, by the way.
To the Overlord, has massive stacks for himself. The big thing that Blacklist is losing by pressuring Mid-1 is you're allowing Chidori pretty much a free lane. KP has just not threatened up top in a very long time, and Terrorblade farm is pretty damn fast.
KP does have a Vanguard as well, so that's both offlaners opting for the Vanguard, as they are going to now connect and potentially look for a kill onto Carl. He's got a big old one, the chain stuns. Carl at least able to take down Afu. Oh, as they interrupt Raven from getting off an early Wukong's command. Does not have enough mana now for the Boundless Strike until he pops the wand, but it's not fast enough to actually stun anyone inside of this thing. Looks like SMG are going to look for more. The Rolling Boulder not quite long enough for Mid-1 to connect. Boulder Smash as well, easily juked out as Blacklist. They think they can take the fight on back, and they can, because KP's connected from the top lane. Charge onto Mid-1. He just barely gets away. So far, it's only really Carl that's dropped in this fight. Nice stun here onto Masaros, but he doesn't really have a whole lot else to offer. He does have maxed wild axes, though, so you continue stacking these up. Fight is going to go the way towards SMG. KP once again charging back uphill onto Mid-1. Finds another bash. A bit fortuitous. Is going to be able to interrupt the Rolling Boulder away, and the damage out from Boss, who collects the kill. Carl with a haste stream back in this fight after he did die earlier. Is going to be able to make it 2 onto John well. SMG eager to fight there, aren't they? But so are Blacklist.
Yeah, both sides really wanting to skirmish, understanding that there's some early timings they can make use of here. So he will jump off, and double for Carl coming off the back of that.
With steady siege, SMG look like they might want to defend this.
Yeah, it looks like it actually just goes for free. I mean, they're dragging some numbers in.
Oh, in comes Mid-1. Chidori does have himself that Metamorphosis available. Only level 2 meta, though. We'll see what they can do as the fight kicks off with Mid-1 missing a couple of spells. Carl on his way back in is going to find himself roared up. Had a shield rune for the first half of that fight, as they have found a soulbind onto the 2 cores. Carl, though, really dishing in the damage, even pre-diffusal blade, as Raven once again joining this fight earlier, doing a bit more. Nice kick out from Mid-1. Does see Masaros still alive in this fight as they're trying to finish off Carl. Another Rolling Boulder, that's the damage to get it done. KP charging behind the fight as well, trying to finish off Masaros. Doesn't quite do that, but the Echo Saber early on will cleave right through Mid-1 on the Monkey King. Masaros are going to be heading, and they'll find Masaros here, or maybe even John Well. His smoke breaks first. Roll on in. John Well going for a walk in the woods, killed off as Raven collects it. Thank you very much.
Mike likes building phylactery on this hero.
Yeah, all right, 2 bounty runes here, going to be picked up by Carl, and another kill onto Afu, as the Mystic Flare damage is not nearly sufficient. Zhao is going to go down as well, but they're looking to counter-initiate. Mid-1 is connected on the roll. He's going to kick him right into the hands of Chidori. Now got that max meta, but needs to sunder and can't do it in time. The stun from Boundless Strike was simply enough.
The Ags.
And he has it now. We'll see if that makes much of a difference here, as Mid-1 is going to give chase, connects the stun onto Bosco, waiting to kick him back into the head. No, actually, they're just going to roar him. That's going to send these drum charges up a bit more, but he's actually out of range. There he is, the drums of Slom now. And a lot of magic damage are going to be able to kick through Bosco.
Responses to the movement out, slow responses to these defense potentials coming in. And Blacklist looking to still push it forward, going for the smoke play out again.
And here they go. It looks like they're going to start off another fight 4v5 as SMG. But they're going to have to run the disc defrag tool in between games. With how well Blacklist is playing, how long before they claim KP as a Filipino, Jonathan?
He is.
No, there it is. That's a nice kill. Finally, they connect onto something here. Things might get a little bit spooky in this kind of a fight, especially as Blacklist, they'll be under an SMG ward, but they've got pretty good positioning. SMG reacting well now, doing a bit of repositioning as KP's going to be first to break the smoke. Connects onto 2, the follow-up stun. Oh, it could have been disastrous, but Yule Scepter in time sees Raven still find a 2-man stun onto 2 cores. The follow-up stun from Bosku's Centaur Conqueror as well. Sees Masaro's trapped inside of the Wukong's command, surrounded as well by the units. Down he goes. The Roar not doing a whole lot there. Mid one now finds himself awkwardly in this fight as the magic damage onto Carl's not half bad, but they have KP to charge all the way through the fight. A big Sunder from 1 HP out from Chidori at the very least. It could allow them to pick off now 3 cores. Carl's out of this fight. The Monkey King as well without a BKB, still pretty darn strong here, Jonathan. There's only 3 people left standing at the end of this fight, but it's actually not a half bad fight for SMG.
It's a fight with a lot of sacrifice.
Bounty rune. Fu has good vision now, finds a silence onto KP. Mid one looking to try and follow up onto that with another silence, but there's too much damage. KP has got a BKB. In trouble now is mid one. I think he's got a Phantom on top of him, so he can't roll away. And with Raven immediately closing the gap, he is just dead. Perma-stun and silence to death. Chidori's committed now as well on the Metamorphosis, but they're not going to choose to fight anymore. They've lost the mid laner, they've lost the captain and the CEO. Chidori with a very nicely timed Mantis out though, chooses now to turn and fight into this one. Disarm, but still trying to get off the freezing field. It's going to be John Noel, but just perma-stun basically. The Roar does at least allow SMG to continue backing away, but it does feel like they've overextended, and now Blacklist eager to dive underneath the tier 1 tower to see how much more they can get. A beautiful 2-man stun to catch Taurus and Chidori. John Noel letting it go. Finds the kill into Bosku, forces Raven now underneath the tower. He's going to go down, couldn't retreat back through that freezing field. So it's SMG with a nice buyback off of Zhao, who are going to be able to still somewhat get the better of that fight.
It's hard to connect all of these dots.
SMG, they want to connect here. They do see Tims. They're not going to see Carl, who's going to roll up with an Invis rune. Tims also has the Ag Scepter, so look for a Dark Portrait in this fight. That's a dead Bosku immediately, though. Mid one leashed up, stuck inside the Wukong's command as Chidori's 20 seconds without a Metamorphosis is going down rather quickly, but gets off a Metamorphosis, or sorry, a Sunder, pardon me, onto Carl. Oh, they actually stunned up Raven. I don't know what blocked his tree, what broke his tree. It was axes. It must have been axes, but Chidori in trouble. Doesn't have Sunder now for another minute and a half. KP easily makes a jump in Raven under the cover. The BKB has himself a double kill, but that's a buyback out from mid one. Rolls back into the fight after TPing onto the outpost. Needs more, wants more, but KP with the BKB now finds a couple of nice bashes here and a stun. Mid one wants out of this fight now. Wants back in. Yeah, that's another roll in. Raven slowed a bit to a crawl. Mid one still has 5 more remnants, but a big charge again by KP through the fight. It's basically bisecting it time and time again. Hit by the roots. Gonna find himself dispelled now thanks to all of his darn status resist, but eventually taken out. That's 2 buybacks, so Chidori bought back as well. They're making a play for Roche.
To cover Chidori at the least, but it puts a massive risk on the side of SMG. Again, Blacklist, with the way they've been playing, with the aggression, has been looking good. Mid one, just bought back.
Oh, this would be a big dieback here, and it looks like they've got it all but basically guaranteed. Mid one does find a roll away. That's a big impetus. Bosku, yep, he'll punish you for that. That was a huge impetus shot. Chidori did pop Metamorphosis here as well, so Blacklist, they're going to be pretty fine to just chill.
It's a transformation hero.
Right.
You have to make that decision with when you want to pop the meta. You don't have your Ags up, or that secondary tiny meta as well.
It'd be good in this situation. Look how fast that Dark Portrait moves. Holy moly. That thing is pretty scary here. Did they just steal his illusion? Bosku stole his illusion. Tim's made a better illusion of him. Zhao, in trouble on the low ground, is going to die.
Yikes.
Dual Scepter is going to do nothing but KP.
A little bit awkward with him being kited around.
I think something that needs to come together. I don't know what order it needs to happen in. If I knew, I'd be playing. Oh, well, mid one thinks he knows he's going to actually get force-staffed away. They're trying to kill Carl. That's what they needed. They needed a roll into a roar, and that is exactly how they're going to get that done. A kill onto Carl. Chidori's going to pop them out of here on the first life, as they have forced Raven out of this one as well. Pops the BKB in order to run from mid one, who's going to continue rolling. They didn't actually latch him onto anyone, and now Raven in a lot of trouble without a BKB, rooted up and blasted by Chidori's right clicks. Does not have buyback. Looking for more. They'll find one more as well as Apu with the kill onto Tims.
A double Nether Strike's nice, but where's your follow through?
There he goes. Stuns basically 4 heroes here. He does not pop the refresher yet, and he's going to be able to easily make it out of the fight. Stroke of Fates as well. They're going to start adding up. That's a max Stroke of Fate. We're going to have a Soulbind as well in 3 more seconds here, continuing to steal the illusions on over from Chidori and turning them against him. Monkey's still dead for 25, but SMG are going to be pulling off of high ground as KP's now chooses the moment to pop the refresher. That's a dead mid one. The roll on through from Carl is going to cancel his TP, potentially condemns Masaros here as well, as KP has yet another strike to use courtesy of the refresher, turns it back over for the kill. 4 versus 5, Blacklist Rivalry, make it work. Again, for Scythe of Vices on mid laners these days.
Yeah, you know what? Side is a pretty big item pickup. Preferable over the Axe. I don't think you want to go fully defensive on the side of SMG. You just kind of want to jump in. If Masaros isn't around just yet to follow through with a roar, have the site ready. And just keep that control up.
See how it goes here as KP may look to make a go at Masaros here. Oh, great Yule Scepter out from Afu. Does still get Masaros to pop his BKB. But they did waste Wukong's, and now mid one, he's back in this fight. There's a BKB still on Raven as mid one finds himself silence, pops that fresh 9-second BKB in order to continue on in the fight. Raven as well uses his as the Soulbind once again, not latching onto anything quite yet in this fight. KP disrupting the backline, is looking for the solo kill onto Afu. Refreshes, should be able to find this one easily, but they've gotten Raven.
Still no
Raven is down. Chidori is huge with this amount of damage. Oh, and the roar to cancel the TP only lasts a mere second before he charges across their screen. They are chasing him with quite a number of projectiles here, Jonathan, but I believe with 1500 HP, KP ought to be just fine here.
What a hero, Spirit Breaker. Big difference maker for SMG here. Last time around at mid one would just run in without no debuff immunity.
KP in trouble. In the meantime, as Roche falls, silenced up, able to charge away. He's taken down. He will take down the Vessel.
Finally happens.
Mid one did not get into range to collect the charges. Kind of, you know, a moderate deal, but not the craziest, you know.
Not the biggest loss in the world at this point. You're happy enough. A casual gig on. Just for the utility of it.
Wow, I actually thought that was onto Masaros. He held on to his BKB. I certainly wouldn't have. As Chidori is going to be inhibited. Carl is going to get a 4-staff out as KP charges across the river, finds himself John well stunned up there. Really good damage here. Does actually force Chidori to pop the Metamorphosis, and now it's Blacklist Rivalry who are going to about face. That was just poke, basically. They just poked to long range. They didn't commit anything there.
They had to use Roar for Masaros.
How are they going to go in? Zhao is not going to quite be burst under to 0, but off of the Nether Strike, he ought to be, especially with the refresh. KP has the kill easily. That was his charge committed. Still conserves his second BKB charge. Raven, though, looking for the right initiation, has managed to find Afu, and this is SMG once again kind of just getting outmaneuvered here, it feels like, especially as they're onto Chidori. Does not have, well, a Sunder target, I guess. Down he goes. Mid one as well being beat to a pulp by Raven, and the fight's just completely broken apart. Zhao is, that was actually pretty funny. He's got shards, so he used the Ogre Seal Totem to get away, as Chidori does have himself a Hurricane Pike to safety.
Because it's one of the things that, again, allows Blacklist to not commit too much, right?
One just went through that portal. That was a, oh, so does, wait, what? But they are they gonna try and do route? There's no way. It's gonna spawn top. I mean, certainly. Oh, they're smoking here. Okay, I've never seen this before. This is sneaky.
I like this. It's one of those things that I always theorized with Underlord, you know, when we first got Fiend's Gate. You get away and get a really interesting smoke angle.
They're going to scout him. They know, and they're going to see Tim's first. Oh, but they can't quite connect the roll or break his tree in time, and now the counter initiation is big out from KP, looking for the ult. He actually bashes the mid one down to the low ground. His positioning a bit unfortunate there. Rolling Thunder is going to be committed here, so now SMG with a bit of an advantage. They do manage to pop the Lincoln Spear of Carl. They're going to try and burst him, and the damage now from Chidori, but he's going to be interrupted. Didn't get the BKB off in time. Carl's still alive, trying to get out of this fight as Raven's going to pop the Mega Wukong's command. That increased radius, forcing back SMG, resetting the fight. But who's used more? Who still has more to fight with? Masaros, did he go back in?
He did.
Okay, KP says thank you for your life. Chidori's gonna tickle him there a bit with the Sunder, does put him on worse HP, and now KP's still alive, dying to the reflection. He's gonna eventually go down. Mid one as well, back in on the fight. He's gonna be able to pick off Carl, so that's a 5 versus 3 now with double buybacks out from SMG. They do get onto John well, as it's mid one who rolls away to safety out of this fight, but you can see the illusions basically now just fighting each other.
It's so painful. You saw Midwin's HP, he was being chased down by the terribly stolen illusions. He got critted out.
Okay,
it's painful.
SMG, they bought back on this, and that's because, I don't know if they know that Roche is up, but they know Roche can be up, and they need to make a play for this now. They got 2 cores out, but they've committed 2 buybacks, 1 on Masaros, and they're not going to yet look for Roche. I assume it's, no, they want to fight John. Mid-1 wants to fight. He's in. But he's 1 versus 3, and he's getting his ass kicked right now. Oh, okay, gets off the BKB, but the boss crew damage, not enough. Mid-1, no. It's still going to go down. Raven collects the kill onto him. That's going to be a 2-man Soulbind. Yule Scepter buys off a bit of time now on the counter initiation, but Tibbs is not going to go down that easily. And now that's 3 dead for the side of SMG. What? But Masaros, he just bought back. Chidori, he looks like he's going to sunder him, but he's got even less HP to offer. So punishing here. That's going to be an Aegis easily now into the hands of Blacklist Rivalry. Brave Ward. Blacklist Rivalry respecting that as Mid-1. He's going to roll outside of the ward. Finds a nice initiation onto 2, but he's going to be perma-stunned here. Nullifier. Mid-1. Someone save the CEO. He's down and he doesn't have buyback by 7 gold. He'll have buyback here in just a couple of seconds, certainly, but Carl, he's rolling on it immediately. And KP with the follow-up stuns. Oh, Chidori does not get a sunder off, and he used meta on the first life, John. Oh, no. Mid-1. He's going to buy back, but it's Masaros in trouble. Finished off, killed off by Carl. And Raven's damage, 3 buybacks up from SMG, but it's a 3 versus 5, and they've kind of already thrown everything that they've had.
I don't know how Chidori does this with Mid-1. No Metamorphosis, again, no Terrorize as well, so you don't have your secondary Metamorphosis up. This is just an easy take from Blacklist.
It is.
With the Terrible Illusions on hand as well.
They're going to just look for the game. They're going to force them to try and fight this. Raven did consume the refresher shard, so he has another make that Wukong's command and BKB. Whatever you're going to do on SMG, it has to happen now. There's a courier coming the way. That is going to be the refresher actually for Chidori. Oh, but he's going to barely just get it in time.
Oh, God.
The BKB off with the perma-stuns. There's still a boundless strike, and he's just down. Jonathan. SMG, they fail to close this one out yet again by the looks of things, as they're being harassed back in their fountain. 5 dead, the GG called. The Blacklist Rivalry take game number 1 out from SMG.
It's a really even back and forth. It was a slower start coming out here from SMG. You know, they start to find these pickoffs later on in the game. I think, again, around 10 minutes after the point where we expect that ball to get rolling.